Listen, if you love traditional Italian cooking, you probably already know that the stakes can be incredibly high when it comes to getting it right. Welcome to this explainer. Today we are diving into something that's way more than just a meal. We are tackling Rome's most passionately argued about pasta dish. We're making authentic pasta alla matriciana, and we're going to break down exactly what makes this simple dish an absolute untouchable pillar of Roman tradition.
And when I say argued about, I mean it. In Rome, adding onion to Amatriciana is basically considered a culinary crime. Seriously, few pasta dishes create more intense, heated arguments in Italy than this one right here. It's the kind of debate that can literally spark a shouting match in seconds.
You see, if you go online and look up a recipe for this, it is absolute chaos out there. Some people are adding garlic, others are tossing in onions, some people absolutely cross the line and even add regular breakfast bacon. But authentic Roman tradition, it's purist. It's a recipe protected for generations, using just a handful of very specific ingredients and carrying hundreds of years of history. It's a total standoff between chaotic modern internet recipes and strict, unwavering tradition.
To really understand the weight of this tradition, we kind of have to look at where Amatriciana stands in the Italian food hierarchy. It's one of the four elite pillars of Roman cuisine. You've got your carbonara, your cacio e pepe, your gricia, and of course, our focus for today, Amatriciana. These four dishes share very similar DNA, but each one holds its own legendary, celebrated place on the menu of every authentic trattoria in Rome.
But before we start cooking, we actually need to travel to a small mountain town northeast of Rome called Amatrice. Long before tomatoes ever even arrived in Europe, shepherds in this region made a super simple pasta sauce called gricia. It was just guanciale, Pecorino Romano cheese, and black pepper. But when tomatoes finally became popular in Italian cooking, those shepherds had a brilliant idea. They just added crushed tomatoes to the gricia, and the result? Amatriana. Eventually, the dish spread from those mountains down to Rome, and the rest is history.
So when it comes to making it, the crucial point really boils down to this magic number: 4. The authentic recipe we're looking at today serves 4 people, and it relies on just 4 primary, high-quality ingredients. Despite all the wild internet debates, the truest form of this dish is defined by absolute simplicity.
Here is the holy grail list. We need 400 grams of Bucatini Pasta, that beautiful thick spaghetti with the little hole running through the center. We need 400 grams of crushed San Marzano tomatoes, 150 grams of guanciale, which is cured pork jowl, not bacon, and 75 grams of sharp Pecorino Romano cheese. You can add a teaspoon of chili flakes if you want a little kick, and obviously you need salt for the pasta water. But guys, that's it. That's the entire list.
Which brings us to the strict no list. If we're truly honoring the tradition of Amatrice and Rome, we've got to stick to this. No cream, no butter, no onion, no garlic. If you try to sneak any of these into the pan, I promise you are no longer making authentic Amatriciana.
All right, let's get into the actual cooking ritual. Step 1 is prepping the guanciale. You want to cut it into small strips, put it right into a cold skillet, and then turn the heat to medium. Slowly rendering the fat this way makes the guanciale beautifully golden and crispy. Plus, that rendered fat, that is the absolute foundation of your sauce. Next, if you're using those optional chili flakes, drop them in now to toast briefly in the fat until it smells amazing. Then pour in those crushed San Marzano tomatoes, stir gently, and just let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. The tomatoes are going to absorb all that rich guanciale flavor. It's literally where the magic happens. While that's going, boil your bucatini in salted water until it's perfectly al dente.
Now for the finish, and this is all about technique. Before you even think about draining that pasta, reserve 1 cup of that starchy pasta water. It's basically liquid gold. Transfer your pasta directly into the tomato and guanciale sauce, add a splash of that reserved water, and toss it like crazy so every single strand is coated. Now, here is the real secret. Turn off the heat. Add almost all of your Pecorino Romano and just keep tossing. Doing this off the heat ensures the cheese melts into the sauce perfectly without clumping up, giving you this incredible, silky finish. Plate it up immediately with the rest of the cheese and maybe a few extra chili flakes.
Just to recap, because I want you to nail this every single time. For guaranteed success, always use guanciale, never bacon. Buy high-quality tomatoes, save that pasta water, and finish it with Pecorino Romano. Keep it simple. On the flip side, avoid the common mistakes that spark actual outrage in Rome. Do not use bacon. No cream, no butter, don't boil your sauce to death, and for the love of tradition, no onions.
When you follow these rules, guys, the taste test is a total revelation. You get the sweetness of those bright tomatoes perfectly balanced against the savory, rich depth of the crispy guanciale. And then that sharp, salty punch of the Pecorino Romano cuts right through all of it. Every bite balances richness, acidity, and saltiness perfectly. The guanciale gives you crunch, the tomatoes bring brightness, and the cheese just wraps it all up into a silky masterpiece.
So what's the big takeaway here? Authentic Amatriciana is a passionately defended 3-century-old Roman legend. It's a masterclass in culinary focus, proving that truly great food doesn't need to be overly complex. It just needs tradition. 4 simple ingredients, 3 centuries of history. That's all it takes.
And that wraps up our explainer for today. But it leaves us with one final, very important question for you. Now that you know the rich history, the incredibly strict rules, and the sheer passion behind this Roman classic, where do you stand? Would you risk it and add onion? Or are you sticking to tradition? Let us know. Keep exploring the amazing stories behind the food we eat, keep cooking, and keep tasting the world. See you next time.